So, I will start my 15-minute reading practice from the book 10x is easier than 2x. In the chapter 10x embraces abundance and rejects scarcity. Now I have reached the end of the chapter. It is chapter takeaways. Society trains people to believe freedom and creativity are scarce resource to compete for. This is not true because money is a finite resource while wealth is an infinite resource. When you choose freedom over security, then you embrace a life where you choose exactly what you want rather than vying for what you think you need. Living a life based on intrinsic wants enables an abundance mindset that allows you to create the wealth and life you want without needing to justify to anyone why you want what you want. Living a life based on external needs enables a scarcity mindset that causes you to compete for the limited resources you believe you need. People who live based on need feel they have to justify their actions so that others will accept them. You must make a choice here and now. Will you continue living in the needing world where you must compete for scarce resource and justify everything you do, or will you embrace the wanting world where you freely choose, create, and get what you want? You can only go 10x by embracing a purely wanting approach to life because 10x is not inherently something anyone needs, but only something you can have if you choose the freedom to want and create it. Your unique ability is a central and core aspect of who you are, which can only be uncovered and developed by embracing what you most want. Your unique ability is the way in which you provide the most value for other people, which no one else could ever replicate even if they wanted to. Your unique ability is more valuable and exciting than any specific industry or skill, though it can be utilized effectively toward specific activities such as teaching, leading, strategizing, etc. Overly linking your unique ability to any single activity such as teaching will inhibit your ability to evolve both yourself and your unique ability to higher levels. Your unique ability is what drives your best and most exciting performance. Being in a flow state occurs when you embrace your unique ability because you are not overly editing yourself based on external approval, attachment to outcomes, etc. Instead, you are just purely free to be and do and create as you want and in the way you want. You are completely free and energized as a result, and the byproduct is inspired creativity. This is also why and how you transform and expand your unique ability to otherworldly levels, wherein you become uniquely skilled and masterful at what you do. To become a true master at what you do, you can't merely be an expert at something. Expertise is the ability to do something well. Mastery is the ability to do something uniquely well. A master is someone who can never be replicated, they can only be learned from. Embracing your unique ability is how you develop mastery as a person and become the highest and most genuine version of yourself. When you embrace and take your unique ability seriously, you immediately remove yourself from ever competing with anyone again. You appreciate the truth that you and everyone else are unique individuals who can never be replicated. Rather than trying to be like other people, your objective becomes to peel away the layers impeding you from being the most expensive and evolved version of yourself that David. Your unique ability is never a finished product and evolves dramatically with each 10x jump you make. Letting go of the 80% and fully embracing the 20% that most excites you and most scares you will take you much closer to your unique ability. As you develop your unique ability to profound levels, you will have increased freedom to dictate the situations and opportunities in your life rather than desperately being in situations you don't truly want. You only embrace the situations and opportunities where your unique ability is valued, but also where your unique ability can be most transformed and expanded. To get additional resources on clarifying and developing your unique ability, visit www.10xeasierbook.com. Now we are moving to the part 2, 10x applications. Just have a look. Now we will start chapter 4, uncover your 10x past to clarify your 10x future. You have done it before and you will do it again. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Before believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart even when it leads you off the well-worn path. This is a quote. This is a quote said by Steve Jobs. While writing this book, I asked my friends, family, and clients to read the early drafts. One friend, a relatively small entrepreneur, mentor, and dear friend of mine, told me that he loved the concepts, but ultimately he didn't believe the book was for him. I am not looking for the level of transformation and commitment you are describing in this book, Ben. I guess I prefer 2x over 10x as a way of life. I saluted this dear friend of mine, agreeing that this book is not for everyone, and that's completely fine. 10x as a way of life may not be for you. If you have made it this far into this book, you are probably clear whether 10x is for you, or maybe you are still on the fence. If the idea of 10x perplexes or discourages you, continue reading. The chapter will help. Another one of my friends who read the first 100 pages while the book was still a rough draft was both inspired and frustrated by what he read. It is not that he disagreed with the premise. On the contrary, he said the concept of 10x was actually incredibly clear and simple. The concept frustrated him because he realized he wanted to live a 10x life, but to do so, he would need to make some serious changes. He need to completely alter the trajectory of his career. Here is what he said when I asked what he thought of the book. I come at it from two different places, my personal life and my career. For me personally, the concept of 10x is inspiring and I feel like something I could really get behind to improve my life and my relationships. I particularly appreciate how you frame it as qualitative rather than quantitative. It's not about the numbers, but how you fundamentally transform. But from the view of a middle manager at a Fortune 500 publicly traded company, I can't help but be completely frustrated, not by your writing or the 10x concept itself, but from the complete impracticality of actually trying to implement it from where I sit. There are so many layers of bureaucracy that may change in a large organization that make change in a large organization so difficult. So really what I take from reading those first 100 pages is another nudging that I need to make a career shift. I just haven't been able to figure out what I would like to shift to. Coming full circle, I need to better define what I want. To be clear, this book was written with high level entrepreneurs in mind who not only have a great deal of freedom in their lives but also who continually seek and create greater freedom in their lives and trajectories. 10x is fundamentally about freedom, the freedom to be, live, and create what you want and how you want. Freedom obviously isn't free, it requires extreme self honesty, commitment, and courage. It requires peeling away the layers of fear and attachment that would keep you 2x and living a life based on need, not want. It takes owning the consequences of your wins and losses as well as the consequences of not being understood by many of those around you. Therefore, my friend who is not an entrepreneur isn't the directly intended audience of this book. That said, my response to him is the same as if I was talking to a high level entrepreneur. Wherever you are now, going 10x from here will require a total remodeling of both yourself and your business. You can't go 10x with the same model you have now. This includes not only your business and strategic model but also your mental models and identity as well. Going 10x will transform everything in your life if you fully embrace it. If you want to 10x, you have to radically change 80% of your life. This is a scary thought. How could you mentally survive such a sacrifice? In our book, The Gap and the Gain, Dan Sullivan and I present a counterintuitive mindset shift that makes letting go of your 80% not only possible but fun. If you stay stuck in what Dan calls the gap, 10x won't be an enjoyable experience for you. 10x will actually be detrimental to your mental and physical well-being as well as all of your relationships if you stay in the gap. You may be able to go 10x a time or two while in the gap, but frankly you will be a shell of who you could have become because the gap keeps you living for external rewards rather than your intrinsic desires. It keeps you chasing, not living. It keeps you feeling awful about yourself, not confident and with momentum. Only by learning to live and embrace the gain will 10x become a truly enjoyable and ongoing journey for you. But not only that, by being in the gain, you will also take far more from every experience you have in life, the good, bad, and ugly. You will learn to take every experience and turn it to your gain such that you are constantly and quickly getting better, and wiser, and never plateauing. After helping you more fully understand the difference between the gap and the gain and why being in the gain is vital for living a 10x life, this chapter will help you recontextualize your past from a gain perspective. Specifically, you will learn a simple technique for better seeing and appreciating the 10x jumps you have already made as a person and entrepreneur to get where you are now. After helping you frame your previous 10x jumps, we will then dive into two powerful models that will help you clarify in extreme specificity and excitement the next 10x jumps you want to make. By clarifying your next 10x jumps, you will also clarify where you want to more fully develop and transform your unique ability. Let's begin. The gap and the gain. Your level of capability in the future depend upon your measurement of achievements in the past. You can't move forward and grow until you have acknowledged how far you have come and have properly measured your gains. While leading a strategy coach workshop over 25 years ago in the mid 1990s, Dan Sullivan made an important realization. He noticed that despite having objectively achieved a lot over the previous 3 to 12 months, many of his entrepreneur clients devalued that progress. Said another way, they were dissatisfied and even emotionally negative toward what they had accomplished. One client in particular was so negative that then come up with a model that because the gap and the gain, Dan was asking the group of entrepreneurs to reflect on and discuss the progress they had made personally and as a business the previous 90 days since their last workshop. The client was insistent that absolutely nothing positive had occurred since they had last met. Nothing, Dan asked. Yes, absolutely nothing, the man replied. "We didn't you say you had gotten a new client and that your team was working on some important projects?" "Yes, but that stuff doesn't matter because we missed a lot of opportunities we should have had. We should be a lot further along than we are now." This man was in the cap. That's it for the day.